Hello, welcome to Getting Started with Canvas for Teachers. This is your March webinar, and we are excited to be doing this on a on-demand format. So this is Pam Batchelor with Digital Teaching and Learning, and with me today I have my Canvas guru and good friend, Christy.
Hey, everybody, excited that you're able to join us with this new format this month. Thank you for being flexible and understanding as we're all excited about NC ties.
Yes, and so as Christy mentioned there, we are coming to you on demand this month. So this webinar really meets your schedule because it's whenever you can start it. Just a couple of notes about an on-demand webinar. This on-demand webinar will be available from Monday, March 2nd, all the way through the end of the month on March 31st. You will be able to view it on demand. You can stop, and if life calls you away for a little while, you can re-register and restart this webinar at your convenience. GoToWebinar does keep track of your attendance as long as you are signed in using the web link that was emailed to you when you registered, or if you do need to be on a mobile device, you should use the GoToWebinar app. There's a free app available for your iPhone and Android phones, so make sure that you are using the app or the link that was sent to you in registration. So GoToWebinar will keep track of that. And then on April 3rd, which is the first Friday in April, you will receive an email from Pamela Batchelor at NCDPI with your CEU certificate, as well as a link to the recording of this webinar and the slide deck. So you will also find the slide deck for today. If you don't want to type in the bit.ly that's on the screen, you can find it in the handout section of GoToWebinar. All right, I think that's all the logistics.
All right. Well, thanks, Pam. Just as a reminder, the webinar schedule, we have a couple more left for this school year. So we have one upcoming in April, on April 1st. We'll have to do something fun since it's April Fool's Day, but we do have one on April 1st where we'll talk about creating a custom homepage. So if you've ever seen those really pretty landing pages with buttons and banners and really nice images, we'll talk about some free resources that you can use to help create your own. And then what that would look like in terms of your course navigation and some considerations there. And then in May, we'll talk about just getting ready for next year. And so this will be a great May, especially will be a great time for you to ask any questions that have come up throughout the year, things that you've tried and you need some additional assistance with, you need us to go back and revisit. So really looking forward to May being a good discussion with all of those that attend. So I'm looking forward to seeing you on both dates. So if you want to register for the April webinar, there is the link to register for the 4 p.m. session and the 7 p.m. session on slide 5. Today, we're going to talk about Canvas Commons. And so we'll do a brief introduction, and then we'll look at some ways to search and filter in Commons, as well as looking at how users across North Carolina can look for resources that are shared to the North Carolina Commons Consortium. And those include resources from DPI and from NCVPS. So really good, great, high quality resources there. We'll look at how you can preview content in Commons. So if you haven't been in Commons within the last year, then you're going to be really excited about the preview feature. It was recently added within the year. And we'll also talk about favoriting content and how you can now favorite or import favorited content directly into many places in Canvas. And how you can import other content into Canvas, and then how you can actually share your own content to Commons and why, some of those reasons why you might want to do that. And then I've just got some tips and reminders for you to wrap up. So just looking at what Commons is and where you can find it, on your global navigation bar in your Canvas instance, you should see Commons here. If you do not see Commons, then please let your Canvas admin in your district or school know. They can reach out to us, excuse me for clearing my throat. They can reach out to us and we can make sure that it gets installed in your account properly if for some reason it has not yet been done. Most of you should see it just fine. Even free for teacher users can see Commons. Um, you can use Commons to search for and import content into your Canvas course. So we know that DPI has been sharing Go Open NC this year. So it's a great, Go Open NC is a great new resource for teachers to share and to search for content, high quality content, but also within Canvas, we have Canvas Commons, and that is another place where people share freely so that you are able to not have to start from scratch. This is especially good, a very good tool if you're working with beginning teachers, especially when you think about those lateral entry teachers or late hire teachers, teachers who are moving to a new grade level or subject area, so they don't have to start from scratch building a course. So definitely a really great resource to share with your brand new Canvas users so that they can begin finding content and not have to create everything from scratch. Commons is also a great tool for districts to create and share curriculum resources. So it's if you're going about the business of creating fully resourced courses, for instance, let's say that you are using an 8th grade math curriculum coach to build 8th grade Canvas courses for math, then you could put that in Commons and make that available to all of your teachers so that your 8th grade math teachers could import that course into their own Canvas shells, and then they could begin customizing and modifying and personalizing for their students. But it's a great way to start, just having that guaranteed and viable curriculum, making sure that all students are having access to high quality instructional materials, resources, and activities, as if you're using your curriculum coaches, instructional coaches, curriculum teams to develop those fully resourced Canvas courses to share out with your teachers. So it's also a great tool if you are creating PD. I know a lot of people are working on micro credentials and badging, and so you might be creating a lot of PD modules that you want to make available to possibly principals to utilize and with their staff. And so that's a great way to do that. And there are already some great PD resources in there for you. So I have linked at the bottom of most of the slides in this presentation the Commons guides. So the instructor guides for how you do everything that you can do in Commons is available here. So this is a great resource for you. The Commons guides are always, the guides are always available in your Canvas instance under Help. You can always go to search the Canvas guides. But I also, again, have linked the ones that are specific to Commons on the slides in this slide deck for you. So again, we're going to look at how you get into Commons. So from your help menu, or excuse me, not from your help menu, from your global navigation bar, again, I said you should have the Commons icon on that global navigation bar. And when you click on it, it should take you to Commons. Now, this is an interesting little pop-up here, and I'm going to go ahead and explain that. When there are resources that have been shared to Commons that you have previously imported into your own course, then if someone has updated that resource, then you get a notification when you are logged into that course, or also if you log into Commons to tell you that the course has been updated. So I have imported Growing with Canvas myself. I can see that it was updated on February 26th. So I want to view those update notes, and it says that there was a correction of a link in Module 6. Notice that I can go ahead and update my course that is associated with that. And that's going to update, or excuse me, it's going to replace my current resource. So it gives me that warning and I can say yes. In that way, and the reason it says I don't have permission to import into that course is I must not be a teacher in that course, because sometimes with my admin rights, I can access courses that I have not yet been enrolled as a teacher. But as a teacher, if you're enrolled in that course, then you would be able to update that. So let me go in here and I'll show you one. So Spanish 1, I can update this. And you can see it did go ahead and allow that. I can update that. And oh, again, this is a course that I am not yet an instructor in, which is why I don't have permission. But you can see the ones as I did have permission, so it just allows me to update there. All right, so let's go back and start looking at how to search within Canvas. Also, just want to call out that there is a survey about Commons usage. We'd love to have your feedback. So if you are a Commons user, or now that you're getting introduced to it, if you want to give some feedback, they are certainly looking for that. So that disappeared because I'd already clicked on it, but you would have had access to that survey as well by going to Commons, and then that survey would be there in a notification window for you. Within Commons, you can see that I can begin just searching. So let's say that I wanted to say, I wanted to look for math equations. I could look for some math equations that way. I could look for full courses. I also can begin, I can sort those by most relevant, latest, most favorited, or most downloaded. I can filter those results, so I can decide if I'm looking for something that is a full course, just a module. I could look for just assignments. I could look for quizzes, assignments and quizzes, discussions. So I could start filtering what I'm looking for. Let's say that I wanted to look just for videos that have been added. I could look for those videos. I also can filter by grade level. And then I can filter by who those resources have been shared with. So if I had some groups within my district or school, then I could find those. If I wanted to look for all, I would see all there. If I'm in a school district, then I would see the school district here. So I could look for resources that are just shared within that school district. I could look for, if again, these are groups that have been created by this district. So if they created groups for their high schools, so they could just go straight to any resources that have been created and shared by teachers in that high school. Or if you're in a North Carolina school district or district, you should have NC Canvas if your district pays for Canvas. If you're using a free for teacher account, you would not have NC Canvas. But if you're in a school or district in North Carolina that has a paid Canvas account, then you should see NC Canvas there. And again, and if you don't see that, then please let your Canvas admin know to reach out to us so that we can get that added. I want to show you that while I am in NC Canvas, I can see materials that have been uploaded just to the North Carolina Canvas Consortium. And those things include, if you happen to be an instructional coach, digital learning facilitator, or district admin and on this webinar, then those include the DLC courses for administrators and teachers that DPI has put together and shared, so you could grab those. And if you are a teacher, again, instructional coach, administrator, also want to point out that NCVPS has shared a lot of their courses, their full courses. So again, when I mentioned that if you have a teacher that is a late hire starting mid-year, you have a permanent substitute or a long-term sub, not permanent, but you have a long-term sub, or if you have a beginning teacher, lateral entry teacher, these might be a great resource for them to give them an opportunity to get started with a Canvas course that's already been built and then to customize to meet their student needs. So always you can filter for those results. If I am looking at let's see, I want to look for something specific. Notice that when I open that resource, then I can add this to my favorites if I want to. So I'm going to go ahead and add that to my favorites. I can see that 13 people favorited it. I can see that 375 people have downloaded it and it was added in June of 19. Also can see that they applied a copyright to it. When you add a resource to Canvas Commons, you have the option when you share something to Commons, you have the option of choosing the copyright information, and I'll show you that in just a little bit. But also currently we're on the preview page, and so with this preview you can actually open every individual item that is in the course and see what those items are. Sometimes you might see something that's blank like we did on the first one, but in general you should see all that content, and it's going to look pretty similar to what like that content would look like in Canvas. So you can see in this course there are 26 modules, 124 assignments, 15 pages. So you just want to make sure if you're ready to import a course that you want to make sure that you know what it is you're importing. You also can look at details, so you can see that somebody's written a description of this course. You can see that it was shared, who the author was, the account that it was shared from, and you can see how Michelle has then tagged it. So she tagged it for grades 9, 10, 11, 12. She added some tags there for people who were searching. She also, you can see where it's been shared. And if you would like to, you can leave a review, which is really nice because then it helps people to understand this is a high quality resource. It's been favorited a lot, and it has really good reviews. So giving that detail or that feedback is an excellent way to help make sure that your colleagues are also able to find high quality content when after you found it. You can also look at the version notes. And so with the version notes, you can see, again, in May, there was just some improvement of that organization and content. And then in June, she updated it just for some organization changes. So really good information there for you. If when you are searching for content in Canvas, because I favorited that, then I can go to my favorites and see the content that I have favorited also. I'm going to go in and I'm going to look for a couple more things. I just want to make sure that I have some good examples to show you as we continue working. So let me go to search. I'm going to filter. I'm going to search for videos. And search for math. All right, so I'm going to favorite just a couple things. Oops, sorry, let me open this one up and favorite that. Just want to have a couple things favorited for you so that as we look to see how we can add content, then we can look to see how we do that. So I'm going to just add a few different types of things to my favorites. So as you see, I'm continuing to search, just changing that search criteria. And I'm going to add that to my favorites. And let me do, we'll go through and do everything, but we'll do a few things. Because once you see how you add some things to favorites or to your courses that you have favorited, it's a similar workflow for everything. I do just want to show you a couple of things. So I love that people are sharing images. If you had, like in this particular case, you have a image that could be utilized in multiple classes, multiple types of quizzes and assignments. So it's a great way for your math teams to work together to share images. I can imagine that science teams really working together to share videos, as well as, lots of different curriculum teams could be working on creating images, videos, audio files, thinking about audio files for your music and band and foreign language teachers, world language teachers, which would be great to have a bank of audio files too. So you could have any of those types of files available. I'm actually going to filter this by Spanish. So I'm going to add that to my favorites there. So again, I can go in and see all that favorited content. I can see the updated. I have no new updates because I've already seen those. Got things that are imported, shared. You can see the courses that I've shared. And then you can also, again, go back to search. And I think I made a mistake because I was looking and favoriting things in Rockingham County's account because that's where I was at to show you NC Canvas because I don't have it. So we may have to do that again later because I have no favorites here. So we're just going to open a few things again and I'm going to favorite them. So just not going to favorite quite as many things, but I will show you how to do that. And let's do one more. Let's do an assignment. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to just revisit the slide deck real quickly. Again, searching Commons, you can search by name. You see how many results. Then you get the course cards, a quick snapshot of those results, which you can open up to view more detail. Again, you can filter it by all of those different options. Wanted to, again to point out that when you're filtering, you can filter for NC Canvas to get just the NC Canvas Consortium shared resources, which include those fully resourced NC VPS courses. When you preview content in Canvas, you're able to, you open that up from the course card, and then you're able to see all of the resources in it, and including the details and the version notes. Again, a reminder how to favorite things, and I have all of those guides at the bottom of the slides so that if you forget how, you can always look back at those guides. And then we're going to get to how we import content into our course. So we're going to go into our courses. So let me go into, I'm going to go to my dashboard. There's a couple different ways to do it, but generally, excuse me, let me go to, there's a couple different ways that you can import content, but I'm going to start from the beginning because usually you're in your course. I'll make myself a teacher in this course so that it doesn't give me any more errors. And I try to work in Commons. To accept that. All right, so if I wanted to import a full course from Commons, then I can do that. All right, so I'm going to go to import from Commons. And then I'm going to import a full course. So again, I wanted to go to filter. I'm going to go to courses. I'm going to go to 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. I want to go to things that have been shared for Math 1. So let's say that I have found a course for Math 1. I'm going to import, so I want to preview, obviously, sorry, I about skipped a very critical step. I want to preview this course first and make sure that I am clear that I want to import this course into my own course. So I would go through and review content to make sure that it was meeting my needs and my expectations. Then once I'm ready, then I would choose, also I may want to add this to my favorites so that I would get it again another semester if I wanted to use it. Then I'm going to go to import or download. Says it couldn't get to my course list. So unfortunately, having just a problem. Let me see if I can refresh and get that again. Okay, so if any Rockingham County people are on here, I'm going to play with this account. Coming from there, I feel pretty comfortable doing that. So I'm just going to create a course real quick to do that and see if it lets me do it here. Going to add a person in as a teacher. All right, so having just a little bit of difficulty, so I'm going to skip that step, but I'm just going to show you another way that you can import since it's not working for me currently, and I apologize for that, but I'm going to show you how you import. Generally, when you get this, you're going to have a list of your courses. When you see a list of your courses, you would get an option to, again, it's here you can search for a course, or go back and make this full screen. You could import, search for a course, or you could, and so when you see your course list here, you could just check that course and then you hit import into course. I'm going to show you another way to do it. So in this particular case, it's not for some reason loading my courses. And so I'm just going to download this course, and that downloads as a file. That can be imported into my Canvas course. So I'm going to go back into that Canvas course. Right? And now I am going to, instead of importing content here, this is another way to do it. I'm going to go to settings and I'm going to import course content. I'm going to choose to copy a Canvas export package because remember I exported this from Commons. So I'm going to find that. It should be in my downloads. There's that file. And I could either choose to import all content or specific content. So I'm going to select specific just to show you what that looks like. If I did all content, it would obviously be everything. But if I do specific content, then it will just let me choose the type of content that I want to import. So we're going to let that run. And while that's running, I'm going to look real quickly again for a user that exists. so that I can go back and show you the first way. Notice that it does take just a minute. It's not going to be instantaneous, so we're being patient. Going to add this user as a teacher. I'm going to pretend that I am this teacher, even though it says Canvas student. I'm going to say I'm this teacher. We're going to try this again. I'm going to import from Commons. First time you access Commons, you'll have that message. I'm going to look for a course. I'm going to import English 4. So now it's working properly for me. You can see that I could either search for courses if this list was long, or it'll have all my courses that I'm enrolled as a teacher in. So I'm going to click Commons Demo. It's not let me deselect all because that is all my courses currently, but if there was a longer list, I could either select or deselect all. And then I'm going to hit import into course, and you'll see that that's already started, right? So apologize for that. Having to troubleshoot that a couple times, but wasn't quite working for me in my sandbox. So this is, you can see again, it is now running. So again, it's not instantaneous, especially if the course is very large. So we're just going to wait for that to finish. I'm going to check to see in this course if it has finished yet. So it tells me that one or more items is currently being imported. So they'll be shown in the course below once they're available. So I'm going to look at that import status. Again, this one is still running as well. So we're just waiting for these to complete. And as they complete, I'm going to go ahead and move ahead just to how you can import specific items and not full courses, because both of those things that I just did were full courses. So I'm going to show you how you can do just specific items, especially favorited items. So I'm going to go into my course, and I always build from modules. So I'm going to go into this module, and I'm going to, let's say if it was Unit 1, and if I needed to add, I'm going to add a page. Let's say that I'm adding with an introduction. Let's see, Unit 1 introduction. And let's say that within that introduction, I wanted to have a video. So I could edit that, and if I have favorited content in Commons, then on that page, I can go to my Commons favorites, and I can see all of the things that I have favorited that are embeddable. So those things would be documents, videos, audio, and images. And so embedding within a page, it's only going to return the results of things you favorited that are embeddable. So in this case, the only thing I have favorited so far that's embeddable is a image. It may be because I'm already importing at the full course level that I can't import there yet. So I'm just going to save that right now. We're going to go back to that progress and see. Going to go back to import course content. All right. It imported with the note it's waiting for selection, my selection. Because remember when I imported this course, I said I just wanted to select content. So I can go to select content and I can decide what I want to import. I could import the course settings, the syllabus body. I could import modules. I could even open that up and say which modules I want to import. And that is because I chose the selection import course content. But if I wanted to do all the modules, all the assignments, all the quizzes, question banks, discussion topics, pages, rubrics, files, or I can pick and choose the things I want to import. I'm going to go ahead and import everything here, but again, you could drop down and you could decide just the things that you wanted to import. You do not have to import everything. Go ahead and select that content, and again, there's a lot of content, so it's going to take it just a few minutes. I'm going to look here now to see what our things were successfully completed. There were some issues. So there were some missing links that were found. So you'll see that whenever we go into the course, if I were to review each page, I might find that there were some missing links, but it's giving me that warning. But now I can see this is the one I imported. So you can see this is the course from NCBPS, and this is the home page. They've given a placeholder for the teacher to add their own information there. I could jump directly to the daily announcements because there's a learning block each day in an NCBPS course. I could look at the course documents, modules. So for each of the courses, they set up these links to the different modules within the course. And I can go straight to those modules. If you wanted to see what it looks like on the modules, then you can see that here. So notice the whole course is here for me. All the modules, all the assignments, all the quizzes, all the discussions, everything is there for me. This one's still running. So I'm going to go in as a teacher here, and I'm going to filter my results again. I'm going to do it by just a couple of things. So I'm going to add some things to favorites again so I can show you how to do that. I'm going to look at a full module. Another thing that's great to do is to have a getting started in Canvas module that you share out so that for students, new students or parents, you can help them learn how to get started in Canvas. So that's a great way to utilize content, or you utilize commons, excuse me. All right, so I'm going to go back to my course. And now I'm going to go to modules because, again, I like to build from modules. I'm going to go here and I'm going to add a new page. As I mentioned to you before, on a new page, I'm only going to be able to add the embeddable favorited content. We're going to try to do that again. This was actually a new feature this month in Commons, and it looks like they haven't turned it on yet in this instance. So let me see if I can turn it on. If you haven't been used to going to feature options, there are oftentimes things that you can turn on here. And it's not been turned on in this account yet, so I'm not going to continue working in there because I don't want to mess anything up for them if they haven't decided to start utilizing that yet. But we will go into another course, so we don't have to wait on that. And I can navigate away from there. I don't have to stay there. So I'm going to go into another course so I can show you how to import favorited content. So let me go to modules, actually. I'm going to add an item. All right, here we go. I'm going to Commons Favorites, all embeddable types. I apologize that I'm getting this error. This is a brand new feature that just came out on February 15th, and for some reason it's not seeming to work right here. So we're just going to go into another area, and I'm going to show you how you can do full items. So I'm going to think I favorited a discussion. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to go to my commons favorites for discussions. And I haven't done any favorite discussions yet. I'm going to look at quizzes and see if I did a favorite quiz yet. I have a favorite quiz, so I'm going to generally I would import that, and I apologize. So it's like your car when you're trying to demo something, you know, things never go right. So this again is a new feature, and it is acting a little buggy for me today. But all of the guides, so this is how you embed items into a page, or this is how, like from a module, you can actually add a full module. Go to Commons Favorites. All of the guides for how to do the things that I'm trying to show you how to do show up here. So I do apologize that we seem to have some bugginess going on this afternoon with Commons. But generally, like you would go to Assignments, you would click on the three-dot menu, go to Commons Favorites. It would then let you look for those imported assignments. You would click on the assignment and it would allow you to choose the assignment groups. If you had different assignment groups in your course set up, it would ask you where you wanted it to go. And then it would, you would select it, and then it would add that item to your course. And that's the same as if you wanted to do a discussion. Same thing on the discussions page. It's the exact same workflow, and it adds it there. I'm going to go back to and show you the how you do it in the rich content editor. So what I was trying to demo for you was from the rich content editor using that button. Then it lets you do all the embeddable types, and then you go to you select the item. You can even search it, but you select the item and you can search by item type, and then it embeds that item in your course, ideally. Again, we seem to have just a little bit of a gremlin working against us today, but all those guides for how you import that content are there for you. I'm going to go back to my course where we were importing that full course. So we can see the progress there. It's important to note that, it's not instantaneous. So sometimes these things can take just a little while, but you can see that now this course that we had been waiting on, it has now imported. I could select the unit there, or I can go to modules, and I can see all of the content that is available within the modules once that loads. And it's ready for me to customize for my own students. So that is how you import content. Again, I do apologize that we're having just a little bit of a difficulty showing you how to do import favorited content since it's just not loading today, but I'm sure that we will work out that bug as it is a new feature. But all of those guides will show you how to do it when you practice on your own. Do want to show you how you can share your own content to Commons, because very often teachers want to share content between or with their coworkers. If you're sharing things with your PLC group, this is a great way to do it. It's also a great way to save content for yourself. So from year to year, if you want to be able to reuse content, it's a great way to do it is to share it to Commons, and then it's available to you for the next year. Couple things to point out if you're I would hate to see anyone leave their current school or district, but if you're planning to leave and go to another district that does utilize Canvas, you could always share your course to Canvas and make it publicly available. And then when you get to the new district, then you could still have that content if that's allowable. So a lot of times I get asked about that, and so that's one way that you can keep or utilize content you've previously made. Also, you can share content just to yourself. Now, of course, again, if you're leading a school or district, that's not going to be helpful to you because you're not going to be the same user in another district. You would have different user ID and everything. But if you are staying, which is, I know, definitely want to see everyone stay and hope you're happy in your current position. So if you're staying and you're just going to start a new school year or you're wrapping up a school year, then you could share content to Commons and just make it for yourself. And that way, next year, you could just import that content from Commons directly into your new Canvas shells once PowerSchool has generated them. And so you do that, you can either do it from your course settings page, which allows you to share to Commons the whole course, or you could also do it from specific items, in this case, an assignment. So I want to go to one of my courses. So I'm just going to open something up. I'm going to do, I've already shared the other course, so I don't think I've shared this one, so I'm going to do this. So I have this course, and let's say that I want to share it to Commons, so I can go to Settings, and I can go Share to Commons. Now, I can say if I had previously shared this, I could say this was an update to a previously shared resource, and it would say which one are you updating, and then it would ask me for some information also about what I was. So if I selected Spanish 1, it would say what does this update include, and so we saw that earlier where the user said that she had updated it for navigation and content. So I could put that version information. If this is a new resource, you can see the types of choices I can select. So I can choose only me. I can choose, this would be your school or district. This is my account. It's called Christy Barham Sandbox, which yours would say like Wake County Schools. If I have been added to groups, I could choose the group. And if I had been added to a consortium like North Carolina Canvas, I could add it to that consortium. If I wanted to have it be copyrighted, I could say that. If I wanted to have it be in public domain or Creative Commons licensed, one of these Creative Commons licenses, I could choose those. So I'm just going to say that I'm going to have it be Creative Contribution Attribution. And then it's going to ask me for some information. So I'm going to just say, in this case, this is a demo. I'm just going to say demo. Here it lets me, you have to fill in these things. So it's going to let me choose an image. I'm choosing an image. I could say what it's appropriate for. And then I can share it. Oops, I didn't select that. So I could say all of Christy Barham Sandbox and share it. Preview's not yet available, but it will be once that is actually shared to Commons. So again, now in next semester, after I get this completely loaded, I could actually select to put it into one of my new courses. Because if I had all of my new courses, they would load here, and I would be able to put that course that I just shared to Commons, I could put it into my brand new Canvas shells for the new school year. Similarly, when I create a resource, so let me go back. So in addition to sharing full courses, as I mentioned, you can just share specific items. So let's say that I just wanted to share this project selection activity. So I open that up. And I could say, I just want to share this to Commons, and it would share just this assignment. I could decide who I wanted to share it with, and I could decide how I wanted that to be. And I could say, looking for filling in all the information I need here. I'm going to share that. So now I'm going to have that project shared. And again, I just shared this with my sandbox, but which would be the equivalent of your school or district. If you're working in a charter school, it'd be your school. If you're working in a district, it'd be your whole district. But I also can make that publicly available to all users in Canvas. So that is sharing content to Commons. So just a couple tips and reminders as we wrap up. When you are importing content from Commons, you are importing, especially if you're importing a full course, just know that it can change some of your settings, including your home page. If you remember when I decided to import and select content, two of the options were, or one of the options was settings, and the settings determine the home page. And so just know that if I import a full course without selecting content, or I select content and choose that, then it might change your home page. You can always change it back. So if you have a home page that you like, that you've already started working on in that course and you're not importing into a blank shell, just know you can always import back. But do know that it's going to, it could change those settings. Commons imports can't be undone. So if you've imported from Commons, and some of us have made this mistake before and decided you didn't like that resource, you just have to go in and delete it. And so as you saw, some of those courses had, thousands of items in them. So make sure you preview and you really know you want to use something if you're importing a full course, especially. You can get, I've mentioned that you'll get a notification when the Commons imported resource was updated, so you could either accept or decline or ignore that. You can decide who to share it with. I mentioned you can share it with everybody in Canvas land, your district or school or group or consortium, or you can keep it private only to you. And it is definitely a great way to manage that content from year to year for your courses. Appreciate your time today and hope that you learned some good information and tips for Canvas Commons, and definitely love to see you participate in that survey and hear how you're planning to use it. Thank you all.
And thank you, Christy. We hope you see you all soon, and we hope to see everyone back for our April webinars.